Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 407. Let's see who shows up. It's all right. Well, there's a couple choices in here. We have the new champion in Scion. We've drafted him a couple trials ago, and so I'm wanting to try out one of these different ones here. And so with this one, I'm just going to go in with Action. There's a few different strategies that we can maybe pull off with some of the new cards. Kind of depends on what shows up, but this also takes a look at some of the nerfs that just happened where Ruin Runner just has 3 health now instead of 4. Merciless Hunter only has 2 health. Shaped Stone only gives +2 attack if you've played a landmark. And so there's definitely some weaker aspects running around. But otherwise, not a huge fan of Predict Lurkers. This archetype is kind of garbagey as far as Bilgewater is concerned. We'd have to just come up with some kind of Echo build around over here. But I'm good to go with Action, so let's take a moment and get him pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar with it, we're just over here at ftpbus.com. And we just wanted to say that the tier list is up to date. The text version is up here in the navigation bar. The image version can be found from the text version or from the search thing. The video where we talk about all of the updates to the tier list is over on the YouTube. You can also search for it as well. But today we'll just be over on the main page using the expedition helper from the navigation bar, and then we'll just come down to this little drop down box and pick up the action card pool. And so, yeah, as far as the action build around itself goes, it's meant to pair off with Riven, and then the reforges from Riven are what you use to activate the Warlord's Palace upgrade. So you either level it up by playing a spell on one of your units. That's just targeting one of your units. That's thing number one. Thing number two is with the strikes, and then there's a handful of other units that get bonuses from the strikes. Mainly the Vicar and Bruiser, where he gives you a lucky find, and then you can use that lucky find to help boost up your Warlord's Palace a little faster. And then there's a handful of strikes in this card pool as well, between things like grappling hook, which is kind of meh, siphoning strike, which was pretty choice. And so that's kind of the idea going on here. Is okay, well, let's play a unit that gets something from a strike. That strike generates a spell. The spell activates something else, and you just kind of get this big cycle of things going on. But, apart from that action, just generating these landmarks can do quite a bit. Like if we're able to get him paired in with Ziggs or getting paired in with Zerath or even Talia these days, just having this unit that can come out here and generate a landmark is a pretty good deal. And then if we're looking to, just destroy landmarks, then having a unit that can continually put landmarks on the board, kind of the same thing with the Vagabond, can turn out to be quite a useful ability, even if we aren't, getting the Warlord's Palace ever to pop for the ability. Just having that targetable thing can be pretty good. And so, yeah, it's not a bad card pool. This is still sitting up in tier 1. That is assuming that you're going to go and draft towards the Riven themes. We'll see what shows up here, but maybe we'll draft that way, maybe we will not. But as far as the rest of these cards are concerned, the early game here is pretty lacking. Only has Ancient Preparations as an early game play. The mid to late game cards are just about as good as it gets in Shurima, and so that's typically covered. The Safecracker is a great 4, the Bruiser is a great 5, the Ruin Runner is a great closer. Then both of the Epics are pretty serviceable. This does have pretty decent interaction in it. Again, Siphoning Strike is a pretty good removal spell. Grappling Hook is serviceable. It has a vulnerable card and Ruthless Predator along with a couple of combat tricks. It just doesn't have any of the early game plays. So that's typically what you're looking for to fill out with this deck. But action granted. So what else can we do here? Looks like this is just going to take us directly into a action build around with the Riven, which is fine. It's not as exciting as I was hoping to pull off with the new cards. I just don't think there's any ways we could really be taking advantage of Poppy with this style of deck. I mean, we could we could be using the Relic of Power to give all of the Poppy allies +1. And I guess kind of thing number 2 we could look towards is if we jump in on Bandle City, we could potentially have some of the Ziggs landmark cards show up. That's a long way to get to landmarks, but I think we can draft it and see what happens here. So let's do this. Let's take this Poppy. If nothing else, This Poppy, we could just look to build around her, and then the real strength in Poppy here, she has this absolute ton of early game, and so um, if the things that we were talking about with Action, him having good removal, having good interactivity, having good late game, just no mid early game, using Poppy to kind of slot in the mid game or the early game, kind of fills in a lot of the gaps, and so even if we say perhaps don't end up in a a true like build around synergistic style deck, if we just assemble a good cards deck between these two champions, I think we could probably pull off something kind of cool. And so let's pull up this Poppy for just a moment. We'll talk about her as well. Let's see. So many sweet combos with Poppy if we're able to able to put them together. But yeah, as far as this card pool goes, it's meant to have this just big early game curve that tops off with Poppy. So if you spend your first 6 mana of the game playing units, if those units don't die, then you're just going to have this big snowballed board once you give all of your units bonus attack with Poppy. And so that's what she's looking to do. There's some absolutely fantastic early game cards here in the Bandle Commando and the Babbling Balladeers. Just coming down and generating these Hungry Owlcats is quite strong. There's a Yordle Smith to give all of your units quick attack, and then Stone Stackers and the Yordle Squire, all great and fantastic early game plays. But as you can see, as you look through this list, it really just kind of tops out at 4. There's the Epic that costs 6, but outside of it, Griff Grenadier is your top end, and so there's not any real late game here. And then the interactive spells like Minimorph is fine, but there's no cheap tricks that are quite good outside of Purpleberry Shake, and so I think these two will play well together, right? We should get some decent. If we don't get a good deck together, we should at least have a reasonable curve with quality cards in it, just a good cards deck in general. But okay, so with this one, I don't really think we want to dive into Noxus. I mean, I could see an argument for it if we're just going to be drafting good cards anyways. Why not pick up some just more good cards? But here, I think it's safe enough at this space to just take a Ruthless Predator shaped stone. Ruthless Predator could be kind of interesting here in the likes of that Yordle that gives everything that you have bonus attack. So if we're going to like make a big Ruthless Predator type attack, we can give more of our units quick attack. I could see that being kind of interesting here. Okay, and so these cards are not good. I have assessed the cards here, and none of them are very good. Like Tenor of Terror is a fine card. I just think we're gonna have a bit of issues getting him to pop off, especially if we just plan on drafting around Poppy. If we get 4 copies of Poppy, or 3 copies of Poppy, then we're going to be kind of stacked in the mid game and don't really need to fill in this space. And so I think we can let that one go. I was kind of just looking at the Sandswept Tomb here. It comes with a 1-cost cheap play in the Treasure Seeker. And then otherwise, these cards are just pretty bad. But, with these Poppy decks, they do tend to have a fairly weak late game, and just having a big generated unit every turn could be okay. Not excited about it, but it could be fine. Okay, then over here, Yordle Smith is the one I was talking about playing well with the Ruthless Predator. I think that will be our choice here. I'm mainly just looking, I think, for the bird generators, but we'll see what comes out of these. Okay, and then our last chance to jump into another faction. Decent set of units in the Penitent Squire Gallant Rider. I'm tempted to take them, even though I typically don't chase after these 3 faction decks. But kind of the idea I have is if we're doing a bunch of like quick attack challenging with Yordle Smith, then the challenger pool could be quite good. Otherwise, I don't. This is our first opportunity to pick up an elite, so we're not going to have too many at this point, but having these 1-drops is fine as far as the Poppy cards are concerned. And so I'm kind of interested in this. We don't really need to be picking up Scrying Sands, like we've already got 2 of these 1-cost combat tricks. Spirit Fire is okay, but it's a little slow for a deck of this style. And so let's give it a shot. Let's jump in on the Challenger cards and see what shows up. This is a bit of the downside of making that decision, and that the Demacia half of Challengers, or the Demacia half of Mentors, is now going to be showing up. It's going to limit our ability to find those Poppy cards, but I think we can still work around this. But with this set, I'm just going to take the Grappling Hook Profiteer. The hook is not fantastic here. We don't have a lot of spells that we can be playing to target a unit first, but nothing else here is particularly on theme. So I guess I could see the argument for taking the Vanguard. It does play quite well with Poppy. Already got one mini-morph as a late-game play. I question our ability to be able to use Grappling Hook without the Reforged cards. Alright, fine. We had an Elite in it as well. That's a decent play in this space. Alright, well, the Yordle Wastewalker, not what we're trying to do. I think we're just stuck with these elites in the 2 and 3 cost space. It's not bad. Could look to pick up a Weight of Judgment, it's just Payday is such a bad card. Okay, well, the challengers are making an appearance, that's for certain. Here, I'm happy enough to pick up Golden Aegis. This plays fantastically with Poppy, giving her the opportunity for a second attack. Quite happy to pick that one up. Okay, man, the Demacian Steel, take the 1 Penitent Squire, and it is off the charts showing up. But having the 1 cost combat trick with an Honored Lord is going to be quite good. Okay, and then it's our first shot at the Balladeers, but we got another Penitent Squire along with an Exhaust. I'm not going to let these go. It's just a little bit too high quality. Okay, well, the Quick Attack Challenge package is kind of coming together. Here's another Yordle Smith. Happy to snatch that one up. Okay, well, we're never working off the Gruff Grenadier. Let's just say that's never going to happen. I think we're just kind of like stuck having to take Honored Lords at this space. I do see the Siphoning Strike down here that's kind of interesting, and this would be our first 3-drop in the Vagabond. But now that we have like the 3 Penitent Squires, it's like I really want to be picking up the Honored Lords to go along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take these cheaper plays. Okay. So is our how far gone is our late game? Like I'm kind of okay with what we have just in the Ruin Runner and the Tomb. So I don't think we have to look down here towards like the Inspired Marshal. Here I'm just going to pick up the Bandle Commando. Just a fantastic early game play. All right. Well, this is all some pretty good stuff. Again, here you can see the Merciless Hunter down to 2 attack or 2 health, but I'm looking towards just picking up the Siphoning Strike, I believe, just to ensure that we pick up the removal spell. Man, like all of these trades would be pretty good. Like Yordle Squires to straight upgrade over the Marauder. The Merciless Hunter would fit in our curve extremely well, and also plays well with the all of the Honored Lords that we picked up. I think just the Lookout's such a bad unit. All right, let's just get rid of our worst unit. But man, that's like the highest quality set of trades I've been offered up in a long time. Okay, alrighty, so let's go. We got to turn something premium. Let's see what's available. Maybe we'll get to hit a common unit and save our pocketbook a little bit since we actually came out here and drafted 3 factions. I just almost never do this. All right, well, we can level up the Yordle Smith. He's kind of our build-around bro of choice today. With all of the quick attack challenging going on, I think he's going to be the key to our success. Boom. So shiny. You look so happy to be shiny, Yordle Smith. Welcome to the squad. Let's get this one going. Oh, taking a while. There we go. All right, so yeah, not really where I expected this to turn out. We've kind of like dabbled with the Quick Attack Challenger Yordle Smith based decks when we drafted Tristana with Demacia. We had this like Tristana Lucian deck where we were looking to pick up the Yordle and Senna's and pick up the 4/2 Noxus multi-faction guy with Quick Attack. Just the Quick Attack Challengers are so incredibly powerful, but the access we have to the access to cards we have to now is quite good. I mean, we should be able to pull them off pretty reasonably with this deck. All right, well, not a bad start. There's the combo. Oh, well, okay. I guess that was an easy one. All right, well, moving forward, we have a couple of decisions as far as champions go. I want to see if it offers us up Jarvan. Fiora is our choice down here, so that's not good. Yeah, kind of the idea I had was, maybe we need to pick up a third champion, enhances your siphoning strikes, and then Jarvan would be a nice piece of late game here. But this Poppy is incredibly good. She's got our third Yordle Smith paired along with her. It's just a quite strong take here for us. Okay, yeah, come on, bud. You conceded right away. It was crazy. It was crazy. Your feet seem wet. Oh man, that's always a delight. Your cat jumps on you and it's just wet. Oh jeez. All right, yeah. Well, okay, well, here's the kind of start we're looking for. So let's just go ahead and keep everything. I wonder if there's a world where we just end up overwriting action landmarks with units, since Poppy tends to like flood the board so easily. Kind of curious how that'll play out. All right, premium umbrellas coming right at you. That's an umbrella in the picture, in case you didn't know. It says banner, but it's an umbrella. Okay, there is a world where maybe we should have played Yordle Smith, but I really want to like crank out this action while we have the opportunity, so hopefully we don't have to overwrite this palace. Oh, bud. I get you them pets. Honored Lord Part 2. Alright, well, Akshan, you're about to fall. Nothing we can do about that. And an onlooker. Okay. Let's go ahead and snatch up this onlooker trade if we'll give it to us. And then we can still play 4 mana worth of units next turn. And this would be choice if we could give this Yordle Smith the quick attack to everything next turn, so we can include our Bloodthirsty Marauder. Like, it's so weird that having the 3 attack unit feels worse than having the 2 attack unit that generates the card. Shyvana, that's awkward, but we've gotta slam some units into her. Well, I mean, we could just Waking Sands into her, kind of like this. He says, "Oh no, you didn't, bust. Nuh-uh. You did not just make a 5 attack challenger." We're gonna do a bud, aren't we? We're gonna take this Shyvana down. No, we're making cool plays. Come on, dude, you're lame. What a lame-o. Oh, that's pretty brutal. We could take Shyvana down to 3. We're just not going to be able to deal with her forever. This is not good. Alright, well, let's put something on the board. Let's see what we can do. Right, well, we can try and make exhaust plays into her. Not a bad start. Hopefully this will play out. Something coming in. It's our Yordle Smith, though. Okay. We got a shot. We got a chance to take down the Shyvana. Let's play another card. Just like he already passed to us once. Seems like he's probably just gonna pass again. But I wanted to give ourselves a shot to have him spend some mana where he can't protect her. Did it. Nice work, team. See, it's not that bad given our whole team +1 attack now, right? If we're getting the 6 stats out of this. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of cards we'd like to be predict drawing here. It would essentially just be Poppy. And not a horrible draw, but I guess we could also be looking to pick up a like mini morph kind of card. So we gotta get a block in here. He's gonna boost up his Vigio either way. Don't really want to lose the unit in the process. Okay. It's tough, but alright. Well, here come the damages, Vigio. Don't have any Withering Wails, please. Like a -5 coming at him. -4. I bet if you move it down 1, it'll switch to -3. Where's that getting? To 1? Sure. Alright, let's hope our width is good enough here. Okay, so we'll stop here. If we draw a bigger unit or something, we'll keep that space on our board open. Double bird. Okay, so I mean, my only real concern here would be like dying to an atrocity, which we need to prevent or protect ourselves from 7 damage. That seems pretty doable. This will put us at 8. Okay. Got the rallies, huh? Okay. Clever. Alright, so do we want to play around the atrocity? That would be our big question. We have to block the Cadrigen. That's happening. So like we can do this. That drops us to 3. Otherwise, we have to block everything, which doesn't seem that wonderful. Okay. Alright, no atrocity, please. We said please, so he can't have it here. Oh man, I was just thinking in my head, like the one way we could potentially get out of an atrocity would be if we picked up a Megamorph, and that's certainly what we've done here. Okay, we still survived it. Okay. Any of these look interesting? I'm happy with the one Megamorph. I don't want the Hourglass. We're not trading out Yordle Smiths. Like it gave us good trades at one point, and it says that's all you get. You get the one chance at them. Okay, the old Darkness deck. Not a bad start. Want to hang on to the Elite since we have the Squire in hand. So, well, we would typically just mulligan away the Gallant Rider, but I don't want to here, given we have an elite. Comes the thunder, my man. Curving this game. -1 power and can't block, or -1 power. Okay, well, that kind of sucks going on to Yordlesmith. it's a little harder to deliver the quick attacks with it being on board like that. Alright, do your thing, Honored Lord. And then we just picked up the exhaust for the Gallant Rider on the next attack. I'm not sure how the prank works on the transform. Interesting, he didn't make our Yordlesmith a 0. If he loses the prank because he's he didn't get pranked anyways. He's just seen it. Okay, I keep seeing the little eyeballs over top of it and thought it was pranked, but it's not how that works. Oh, let's go ahead. All right, we probably ought to go ahead and get him on board. I worry he's going to pop our exhaust with a prank or something, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I could really care less about him pranking out our hand. He's not adding to the board, which is the big thing here. Never blocking. Never, I tell you. But we do have a real decision in the sense of, well, what if we just like play the Tomb and then hook Benaminamon with the Honored Lord? I kind of dig that. It leaves our Akshan vulnerable to him playing like a Senna. But I think this is good. We can save the exhausts for a turn or two from now. Okay. Big old chunk of damage. Unfortunate, but sure. Still get in for 5 at the end of the day. He doesn't get to improve his board any. We're going to blast the Senna with the Siphoning Strike. Oh, dang, a Thresh. Alright. Well, he's still good. You can blast him post-combat if that's what his wanting to do is. And otherwise, I mean, banking 3 isn't the worst here.
Look at them shaking in their boots. Ha!
You gonna do it? Are you going for the attacks? Looking real hard on it. I don't think this Thresh is coming in. It's just gonna come back to the next turn. We didn't play that Radiant too early, did we? Okay. Oh, that is lethal, isn't it? Oh, cool. I forget about the sweet Sandswept Tomb doing stuff. It's pretty powerful against these darkness decks. He might have just rage quit on us. like that's the case. Nice. Boomed him.
Fixing the world one scoundrel at a time. You won't leave a scrap.
Okay, on to the next one.
One step closer to a world without villains.
What do we got with this Poppy here? Not bad. The back-to-back kind of, fills in our late game a little bit. It's something good to do when you're making these big open attacks towards the late game. Then Blade Keeper is not exactly what we're looking for, but it has some combos in here. If you're playing the Blade Keeper onto your Yordle Smiths to give everything quick attack and such. Okay. Ooh, Poppy. It's quite important to have Poppy in the matchups like this. I assume this is kind of a mirror match. It's unfortunate we didn't pick up a 1, but we didn't do a lot of hard mulliganing here anyways. Ready. I'm ready for my impact.
Baddies beware, Mama's got a gun.
All right. And then we'll just continue to curve. We're going to play the Redeemer into Poppy. There's just kind of no two ways around it. Oh. Let's say, well, there is a way now that he's played Bandle Commando, or now that we drew Bandle Commando, but well, maybe we do actually play ours. If we're looking to just attack with Poppy, then giving this the bonus is pretty big. I like it. Because now our Commando wins combats against his Commando. Okay.
Today's the day I find that hero.
And we can still play around a Buster Shot if that's what they have. We lose Poppy on combats from that point, though. Alright, let's get it started.
This is Mama's house.
Not bad, not bad. The strategy I usually talk about playing against the opposing Poppy kind of decks is you don't want to be attacking into trades. They tend to just refill out their board faster than we can refill our board. But that was clearly a strong attack where they didn't have any good blocks into what we were doing. Here I'm looking to just take 6 from Tristana. That's not a big deal. I would like to get some kind of additional blocker on board since Poppy can't block, but I think this is okay. Let's just add the Smith. Kind of okay with maybe just blocking Poppy and then following up with the Vanguard Redeemer. Can't protect from that.
I've trained my whole life for this. Follow me.
And then probably just going to have to open into Trist, right? I don't want her summoning the dudes and giving the whole squad impact. Of course, we draw Poppy. Like that's something to complain about. I guess we can let them have 1 unit with the bonus.
Fly high. I'll make you proud.
Sing with the darkness in your heart.
Emoted a little too fast, huh? LOL.
Quest complete. On to the next.
That's choice. That makes my morning. So let's see, what can we do here? Do we have any scouts? I don't think we have scouts in our deck to take advantage of this cataclysm. It's kind of interesting though, and say like cataclysming a Poppy, since the way that works with Poppy is she has to attack with allies to get the bonus. So if you cataclysm a Poppy, she won't work on her level up, but it will still work with her attack ability. So that's kind of an interesting one. That's tough though. I don't. It's like we're kind of spell heavy already. We're trading out an elite for where we're trying to get the penitent squires going. I think we got to let this cataclysm stay. I think if we're trading out one of these like cheaper, like if we could trade a purple berry shake for cataclysm, I'd be pretty on point with it. But I like having this defender in our deck here. So it comes down to we want to trade this marauder for Bladekeeper. Not like completely opposed to it, but what do we've got? We've got 3, 4 1-drops. Go down to Treasure Seeker. I'll just hang on to the 1. All right. On to the next one. Not bad. This has been going nice. Sweet little combos all across the board with these cards. And the spiders. It's been a while since we've seen the spiders deck. Okay, but there we go. We'll hang on to this. The Bladekeeper, if we were on the even attacks, I would kind of consider it, but since we're on the odds, it's going to be a little bit too awkward to really get going. I was hoping we'd pick up a way to deal with an Elise, but hitting three attack is kind of tough for our deck to do without having the Yordle that gives the sword and the shield in hand. Okay, well, we can do it this way, I guess.
I have urgent news.
Okay. And we can get some quick attack challenges going here. Oh, not you. Banner. Here we are. So let's see what we can do with the Yordle Smith.
One way to pick a pine cone, I'll show you.
Says, oh, Bust, you nasty. Is it worth? I can't imagine the Arachnoid Horror is worth here. So let's just go ahead and get this one in. Or worth an exhaust, right? I'd rather save it for something a little bit later. Surprised you just kind of like threw that away. Copy?
I pull the strings.
Looks like we're gonna have to take one this round. Let's at least add the Vanguard Defender. I don't want to just like run Poppy out here and have her get blasted by a Black Spear or something. But she'll be high quality next turn.
Stand strong.
This even plays into a what you call it, the thing that gives +1 to spiders, -1 to opposing team. This plays decently into that as well. No vengeance. No vengeance. We said it. We said no vengeance. That means you're not allowed to do it. Uh-oh. Sad faces have been made. He was looking to play something. I mean, if you have vengeance, you have to do it now, right? Otherwise, Poppy's going to give her bonus to all of the units. Something like this. It's some kind of spell. Something's about to happen, but this is okay. I got this confused as well. We shouldn't be putting this unit in front of our Poppy. It should be down here to the left. I forget the... I tried to move something in front of the Smith, and it just got awkward. But we definitely should have put that attack on a one of our smaller units down here to the left. Now it's like Action's not doing a whole lot. Well, his landmark's not going to do anything, is what I mean. I think we can still drop him, see what happens here, and then we still have the back-to-back mana if we want to do that. We have the Vanguard Redeemer if we don't. I think we have to back-to-back here. Like, this is a reasonable one. Like, putting something here is reasonable. Then we can back-to-back these down.
Demacian steel protects me.
And we have a really strong open next turn. Okay. Sure. Surprised to see him adding dudes. All right. Well, we can't play everything here. Got him. Whew, okay.
One step closer to a world without villains.
Good job, Poppy. Your ability unopposed is not ridiculous. JK, it's ridiculous. So, all right, here's a cataclysm I could see picking up. Right now that we have like all these shakes and the radiant strikes and stuff, I'd of course rather be trading out the shake. I do believe, but this is good. Pre-final battle. Oof, cruising right through. What type of opponent are you bringing us now? Zerath Talia Action. Okay. Weird seeing Ionia in here. Like I wonder if you like start out with an Ionia champion and then trade it away. Like what Ionia cards would you ever want to be picking up? Strange. But Poppy's good enough to hang on to, and we'll mulligan for our cheaper units.
Sun's beneath me and winds behind me.
Let's just get this thing out of here. We'll trade the shake for the Rockhopper. It's not that big of a deal. It's like I want to keep like maximum board going into this Poppy turn. I think this is okay. The only downside here now is he can potentially just like pass and we can't add units. Right, because we don't want to add 2/2 into this board and then have it just get dealt with outside of here. But oh, well, I am okay with this. He's the best purple berry shakes we're ever going to see.
I'll show you.
Here comes the Poppy. He's not guaranteed to get through here. They have that sacrifice a landmark to deal damage kind of thing. Kind of meh. This is kind of meh, getting a bunch of rock bears and stuff. So where does that leave us? We can't back-to-back next turn. Oh, that was pretty brutal. Alright. We have to build up a little bit more. Yeah, not amped about blocking, but
Our ancestors are watching.
They've never seen a contraption like this before.
all right. So I mean, our big decision now is going to be like we probably just want to go wide, right? But that means giving up on our poppy. I think this has to just be a back-to-back turn.
All right, let me do it.
Okay.
Looking for an anvil. Fix up.
I suppose you'll do.
All right. Well, this is the turn for us to come back. Nice. No shaped stone or anything. We're going to lose our Yordle Smith to the Rockfall Path, but we're starting to recover. Okay. These big siphoning strike poppies ready to go. Ew. So if we want to siphoning strike, say like the Magus, do we die? No, we can still block the small ones without losing our poppy. Okay. Very good chance we're dead this turn, right? But very good chance, but okay.
Out of nowhere.
All right. Does he really attack with Xerath? Interesting.
You don't understand.
Interesting. It's like you're about to like really just pop off with that thing. I guess you got to answer Poppy somehow.
Baddies beware, Mama's got a gun.
I have been sent by the king himself.
On it.
All right, well we're doing stuff. What better way to describe this? We're doing stuff. All right, so we'll have to Keeper's Verdict out this Waste Walker, so we don't die to the Overwhelm. Going to open? He's going to open, isn't he? Damn. Just it's like a half a mana off from being able to come back in that one. That was awkward. Damn. Just that turn in the early game, destroying the landmark and getting the 5/4 was just a little bit too much to overcome. But all right, moving forward, I think I'm fine to trade the Tomb for the Siphoning Strike. I don't like that this is just... It's awkward, right? It just takes up that space on our board. But It's tough for us to have units this big. I am leaning towards just taking the removal spell here. It never gets the bonus from any of our cards. I guess, I mean, it doesn't need it because the unit's just going to die anyways, but... okay. It's tough to pass on the removals. Damn, if we just played it like a little bit slower and not killed off his endless devout to put that thing on the board, we would have just like shot super far ahead because we wouldn't have lost. We would have had a full board of just big boys ready for Poppy to load up. Damn, I have to remember that in the future that maybe we should just not block that guy sometimes. Okay, so I think this is fine. Gives us the opportunity to put the umbrella on either the rider or the honored lord. Poppy, cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this, knowing that we have Poppy in hand. We probably just want to stall out the board a little bit.
Son taught me to never let my guard down.
Okay. This is Timo, TF, and Caitlin.
On foot.
For the prince!
I've been sent
All right, well, we're going to start doing this stuff. Hope you don't have an answer to Poppy.
there was a little fella asking for me.
Wouldn't be a quest without some danger.
Here come the stats. Just add another irrelevant unit, please. That's is that a big ask?
Hello, Kimberens.
Okay.
I mustn't stop.
They will sing here, dog. You won't leave a scratch.
Seems pretty good to me. Oh, you want back for the action, bud? Come on. Oof. Oof, Poppy. Get ready. Get ready for battle. Oh my. Oh my. He didn't even get to see us bring the thunder. Dang. He didn't even get to see it, bud.
You get me next time.
All right. All right. Get ready for that final battle. What do we got here? Screeching Dragons, you're of course good, but you're a little expensive. I think we want to skip over all of this. I'd rather have the Smiths than the Stackers, and then we're going up into expensive spells that we don't want. Vandal Commando for Redeemer is good. That is one of our premier early game plays. Boom. Want to hang on to the Aegis. I'm not opposed to trading out Bloodthirsty Marauder, but Spirit Fire again is kind of expensive here. The Yordle Squire is going to be a fantastic pickup, though. I'd love to hang on to a back-to-back kind of card, but the Squire is just so incredibly strong. Here, it's so tough to ever pass up on a Judgment. It's so expensive. I'd almost rather have back-to-back than Judgment. I'm going to hang on to the Squire, hang on to the Radiant Strike. Could pick up back-to-back, but our spell count's still a little high. We'll skip over this one. Okay, so these don't want any of. I'd rather have the Commando. Riposte is too expensive. Then the Purple Berry Shake. We're still good on these early game plays. We got 2 Shakes and 1 Radiant. That's typically enough. Don't want Inspired Marshal. I think we can upgrade to an additional Commando. So we got 2 of the early game tricks now. That's a good number. All right, bud. We're off to that final battle. Picked up some commandos. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, bud. Yeah, not a bad deck. Not a bad deck. We got some pretty cool poppy combos in here as well with these challengers cards, adding in the cataclysms and the golden Aegisuses. I dig it. What do we got here? Shyvana Akshan. Okay. So we're gonna hang on to the poppy, and then just look for some other plays to fill in the curve. Kind of tempted to hang on to the predator, but we picked up a good one at least in the commando. All the commandos. That's I want the predator back if I knew we were going to draw this many of them. Oh, we're going to have to add the smith. Well, we didn't have to, but there's still a pretty good chance we have a good attack with the smith this turn. If it was coming into turn 4, I would speak differently of this. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll let him attack before we add anything here. Don't want to see like a confront come down and him get to pick and choose one of our good units. Do we ever open? There's no way we open with this board. But what could we pick up to do things with the Honored Lord? Well, and then the other kind of downside here is if they have like a single combat. That's kind of a struggle. Alright, well, it feels ultimately pretty horrible if they're able to add a unit here. Oh shit, this thing's big. Shit. I thought that Shyvana was going to drop a health. Oh noes. The whole play was set up assuming we'd kill the Shyvana. Why is this so big? Why does she have +2/+2? Huh. All right. Yeah, just got to get rid of her. Get this out of here. They can redraw it, but she loses the challenger and the +3/+3. Still going to be supremely problematic them having a flipped Shyvana. But oh, she furied on the Dragon Chow. I'm used to just seeing her get that +1/+1 from her attack.
Lieutenant, have you brought a specimen from the field? We let you keep the egg. Be content with that.
Okay. Steve can't play the single combat. Weird, he didn't take down the Yordlesmith.
Baddies beware. Mama's got a gun. This mama is the beast mama. Approaching the battlefront.
All right, well we got blockers for days after these attacks come through, but they're not particularly like high quality blockers. Just can't catch a break in this one. Oh, he is being ultra greedy with his researcher. Alright, well we might be able to get around him here. Would have felt much better about it if we were able to put all of the additional additional little birds from the Bandle Commandos. But oh, he's gonna have the single combat. Oh my gosh, he's just completely full on board. Okay. We're 1 unit short. We need to draw some damage. Brutal. If we had the two birds, then we could have gotten through on this. Damn. All right, well, give us a good one, game. Give us a good one. I don't quite think Golden Aegeus is it, but oh no, we got an impact. So if we can get him down to 1, then we can Golden Aegeus onto our Stone Stackers and impact. Seems like he has a spell. He's had it all this game. I wouldn't be surprised, but no, not our impact. No. F. Oh man. Well, it is what it is. That was gonna be our way to do it. All right. That was savage. We could have done that different. I did mess up that. I think we would have probably been stuck making a Poppy play anyways, but I get so confused with the Shyvana when she has had the +1 attack, like she attacks and gets the +1 bonus, and then it seemed like she was the same size the next turn. Like I just saw her size and expected her to drop a point of health, and that really kind of just weirded me out there. Okay, I even had to go back and look at it. She was a 6/6, and then when the next turn rolled over, she dropped to a 5/6. I just always assumed that her health was going to drop 1 whenever she gets whenever the next turn goes through. But she already had that point of damage on her, so she didn't fall that point of health. And so we did make that play with the assumption that if our opponent had a single combat or a Shyvana single combat, that they would be able to at least have to trade with Poppy as opposed to just get the value hit on her. But that wasn't the case there. They had the concerted strike anyway, so it didn't 100% matter. But oh, that was painful. And we were so close to being just wide enough to ending that game as well. But nonetheless, fun little trial. It does, showcase the strength of Poppy and how powerful she is. If you don't have an answer to her, then you've probably just lost the game. And so she is just a super, super powerful champion. And this has turned out to be a pretty powerful archetype, however you do come out here and assemble this Poppy. And so this is kind of like the second one we've gotten together where we've had ways to get her attacking multiple times. We had a trial with Poppy and the Relentless Katarina, and now we've done it again with Poppy and Cataclysms and Golden Aegeuses. We didn't get to really pull it off, but that's just like a nice little sub-theme that we were able to add to our deck. Now, as far as deck building is concerned, though, is this worth it? Being able to find these Demacia cards in exchange for having the turdy Demacia cards added to the Mentor's card pool, that one's pretty close. I think if you find yourself in either Demacian Steel or you find yourself in Challenger's Demacia, then you might be able to go for it. But otherwise, I would say probably not. If you're not familiar with like the card pools and the things we're talking about, we have this strategy that we'll follow on occasion as to where if you're specifically looking for a set of cards, in this case we're looking for Bandle Commandos and the Babbling Balladeers, then you just don't want the other faction within your archetype, right? And so the Mentor's archetype is Poppy plus Demacia with Fiora. If we don't take any Demacia cards, then all of the Mentor's packs that show up will be 100% Bandle City on the Poppy side. And so by taking the Demacia cards, that puts in a section of it allows those Fiora cards to show up in your packs. And so we pick and choose our factions closely depending on that factor. Like a lot of times, if say you're drafting Echo, right? Echo, you want to be building around Kyrie and Sumpworker, regardless of whether or not you're in Time Lords or in Predict Lurkers. Then you just don't take that opposing faction. And so every time the Time Lords pack shows up, it shouldn't have any chance to have Sharma cards in it. And so that's at least the way I like to draft it. That's a strategy. Agree or disagree with the Echo sentiment and Predict being a better way to get the Kyrie and Sumpworkers. That's for a different day. But that is a strategy to consider. And we didn't really go all in considering that strategy when we picked up this Penitent Squire Gallant Rider pack. And then we immediately saw it happen in the next pack where the Silverwing Vanguard showed up. But nonetheless, back to the things here. There's typically the big things I think about when it comes to a Poppy deck are how do I flood the board in the early game? She's typically good enough at that on her own where you don't have to look elsewhere. But you want her paired up into factions that can flood the early board. And so Vandal City is just absolutely fantastic at that right now. But as long as you're in a faction that has a bunch of 1s, 2s, and 3 drops in it, they'll be happy with Poppy. I think number 2 is there's just like a ton of strength within the Yordle Smith. Do whatever you can to take advantage of this guy. Giving out challengers is the really easy way to take advantage of him. I knew we couldn't do much with the challenging with, say, something like Honored Lord, but jumping into the challengers card pool and already being in Sharma, if we start seeing the likes of Exhaust, Ruthless Predator, Rockhopper, any of the Sharma cards that give out Vulnerable, over in Demacia, if we're able to find Umbrella Makers like we were chasing down, On Guards, find Confronts, all of those cards just play absolutely fantastically with the Yordle Smith. And this was a absolutely wonderful unit to just be putting the Challenger cards onto. Like the Umbrella onto the Yordle Smith was just a fantastic thing to be doing, and I was quite happy with how that side strategy turned out. And so kind of where I'm going with this is if you're out here drafting Poppy, I think you need something to do other than just putting units on the board. And so with this deck, we were able to pick up some rallies, and we were able to pick up challengers, and that felt like enough. It's quite easy with this card pool to have a deck to where you have out of your 36 cards, you have your 4 champions, and then you have like 25 units and then 3 purple berry shakes, or however those mathematics work up. It's very easy to have a deck with no late game, no interaction, no removal, and just all dudes. You kind of need a kind of a side plan to really maximize these early game plays. But I think that is going to do it for us today. Those losses were heartbreaking. Those were some pretty brutal losses that we faced there, but that's probably how our opponent felt as we were dropping Poppy onto them. It's like shit. I was here to have some fun, and dude's just playing Poppy. But all right, well, let's click on these rewards and see what else we got going for us. Some kind of card back. Welcome to the squad, Senna. Then let's check out the golden chest. Okay. Oh, I was expecting more out of that one. I clicked on it too fast. But that will do it for us today. I hope you all enjoyed the trial. You maybe learned how to mentor your quick attack challengers a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.